I recently just finished a book and I never thought of just making a video just to talk about this book, but I think this book is quite popular. It's a non-fiction book that everyone's talking about on the internet right now. That is the Ali Abdaal Feel Good Productivity book. And to say if you just watch me talking about 9 to 10 minutes about this book, I would highly recommend this, especially for those who are extremely busy with 9 to 5 jobs and want to start a new hobby, or for those who struggle to kind of do the priority stuff. And I think mainly this book really gives you the tips and tricks how you can actually do stuff sustainable, doing it in the long run rather than just discipline yourself, just doing it for the sake of doing it and then just burn yourself out in the midway. And in this video, I want to talk about what I actually learned from this video for the past month after reading this. Generally, I didn't actually thought of picking this book up really, and I think for the past 3 weeks or a month ago, the team behind Ali Abdaal's, which is the marketing team, it's been working quite hard to flex the muscles and been sending loads of emails about this book. To be fair, reading those emails and then catching some of the tips and hints from the videos that Ali's been posting, that pretty much covered 50% of the books. But I think the rest of the 50% is actually equally important, which is generally about how to sustainable and then how to kind of overcome anxiety, how to actually gain that inertia to start something, to do something without actually feeling the pain. And generally, it's been helping me, and yeah, it's definitely a good one. And so the first part of my video, I want to talk about the first part of the book that Ali Abdaal's been talking about, that is Energise. And he's been talking about, rather than being serious doing something, just approach the work with adventure. You have to think about what's fun with it and then try to think about it rather than just doing it for the sake of doing it. I think when he actually saying this and giving tips and example and then researching the book, it seems very easy, but when you think about it, it's quite hard to bring fun into a delivery job. Quite difficult as well to bring fun into a retail job where you have to stand for over 12 hours of shift and things like that. But I kind of understand him that you basically the first part is bring the adventure into your work. You have all the power in your hands to actually having fun in your work, and most importantly, approach things sincerely actually hits me the most, because recently in the past 3 to 4 years after working in a cloud engineer's career, I actually stopped caring. The way how I approach things is not as sincere as I used to be. And reading this book, in the first part of the book, which just bring me out and then just give me a slap in the face that, yeah, actually, if I actually give some thoughts about the work, bring that adventure into it, treat the stuff more sincerely, it's actually a quite fun work to do, and then there's a lot less procrastinating reason in between, right? And so the second bit as well is also, he's talk about power. He was saying, mask yourself to become someone else so that you bring the confidence out. So when I'm making this video, I'm trying to bring myself out as Ali Abdaal. Obviously, I don't have my British accent and I don't have his kind of good beard and all that. So I can only think about what I actually want to do. But I get his point that to actually bring that confidence out, I actually can do the stuff a lot easier than actually just thinking, having that rumination over and over again, and I just stop doing, which is good. So the second is really power, do that work confidently. And then lastly is people. I think this also hit me quite hard as well, because I've been doing things alone and I don't really have much friends in real life, and I'm pretty much an introvert that just watch anime somewhere in the back in the underground and things like that. But over the years, I did make some really fun friends, and I feel like it's a good thing to actually think about how I actually want to build my stuff around the people. And at the end of the day, he's right, Ali Abdaal is right anyway. I think to build a successful business, to actually have a momentum, feel proud of what you're doing, it's all about the people around me. He's right. So that's really covered the first part of the book, Energize, which is fun, adventure, power, becomes confidence by someone, and then lastly, communication between people, where doing it with friends, become team players. The second part of the book is actually about blocking. It basically, rather than just rushing it, thinking what's next, we have to think about why we're doing this and why we are not doing this, and then what's actually our certainty, and how do we find a way to feel nice about the job, where I think he's nice. There is a term short-term, near-term, input-based, controllable, and energizing, where I think you can read more about it in this book, but it's basically about just finding out the reason about it, write it down, ask yourself about it, ask that again. Once you actually write it down, we actually follow like what you say in the book, it actually helps. The second one is, again, basically asking us to find courage to just go for it, less thinking about perfectionists, just like I'm making this YouTube video, rather than just thinking how I can film just the best, surroundings and all that. I would just film it and I'll just throw the responsibility to my editor to make this video looks good. And I also think that he also said that once you start doing it, you're able to, look into it and reduce that kind of anxiety and then keep the momentum going. So that's pretty self-explanatory, but when you actually read it and start doing it, it actually all makes sense, and it does help me, especially for me. The third one for the second bit, which is about blocking, second part of it is just start but not abandon an idea. I actually never thought about it, and every time I want to start something, like I've been wanting to start a YouTube channel for ages, and every time I think about it, think about all of the steps I have to do. I have to scripts, I have to start filming, I have to wear nicer, I have to shave my beard and anything like that. Then I just literally stop doing. But what he's saying is maybe just start it one step at a time, maybe 10 minutes a day. Just start doing it, but not abandon the whole idea. Step by step, basically. So the whole second part of the book really just, I think overall just asking us to identify what's actually required for the task that we're procrastinating, split it down step by step what we actually need to do. And then finally, go for it. Think about it. Just do it. And then once you start doing it, the momentum start going. And then lastly, I think if you get really genuinely very difficult to start, maybe start but not abandon it. So start a little bit step by step. Write it down. Tomorrow, start at 10 minutes again. And then sooner or later, it become a habit. Like going to gym, making YouTube videos, which I've been making for months now, and hopefully that will last for a year. And that pretty much then the reason I felt like this kind of aligned to what I've been wanting to do, and it's just sync with what I'm thinking so far. The last one is Burnouts, and I agree with what he said in his book, because he's saying what in the right in hell that he kind of deserve a burnout when we're just sitting in front of computers doing what we actually like doing. This is like a God-given life that no one's actually, not people have the privilege to have that, but he's been, there's three things about burns out. Once people basically doing too much. Another one is goal is not aligned. The last one is basically people have to just learn doing nothing so that you can recharge on the go. I think the first one is doing too much is literally, again, lying to me. So I'm doing side hustle, YouTube work. I've taken care of my wife as well. And then a lot of things, chores in life. And sometimes it's just too much. And that bit is learning to say no and then prioritize what's actually required to do in your or in my actually daily life. And I start looking into that, using some of the tips in the books about what's active investment currently and what's not active investment, and then find the most important one and then align them to the first 5 and then start to invest on them. Even start using Notion nowadays to actually allocate my task, and surprisingly it works. Maybe it's because it's a brand new process in my life and my brain's actually kind of exciting to use a brand new process, but it's good tips for me, and it's so far it's working. The 3rd week's into January now, which I'm recording this video, and I've been procrastinating probably less than an hour so far, and then every night I just read a book, which I just plan to do a book review every month nowadays. But anyway, the next bit is also finding activities that's how you can recharge yourself. So if you're burnt out, what's the activities that actually recharge yourself? And in the book he said that there's an activity called calm, which he made his like nice. So the calm is competent, autonomous, liberated, and mellows. I'm not quite going to cover what all that means, but basically find a project that you have freedoms, you feel like you have the momentum around it. Those are the activities that you're able to recharge. And then also stay near to nature, so that's what's covered in there. And then lastly is, again, self-explanatory. If you do too much and those things actually not align to your goal, then this is misalignment, and then more you're doing it, more you feel like this is a chore, and then this over that become procrastinating, and then even the most important thing is not even going to cover that. And it's spot on, really, genuinely. And all 3 chapters: Energize, unblock myself, find out the reason, and lastly, misalignment, align myself, how to recharge myself to do even better so that this productivity journey is sustainable. And personally, I felt that this book worth a lot to me. And funnily enough, this is the first non-fiction book I ever read. And I will start reading a book at least a month for a non-fiction one. And we'll cover them. I just felt like this is a good opportunity for me to have a brand new kind of process system in life in my 30s. I think I'm 33 this year, so I'm quite old now. So ultimately, conclusion to this video, and how not to burn out and how to be sustainable, allowing me to using this method to survive for the past 3 weeks of January of 2024, and it certainly definitely helped me. I'm not trying to sell the book. As I said, I only buy the book because the team behind Ali Abdaal has been spamming me. I'm not even pre-ordered his book or anything like that, but I just felt like this is a good book to read. Anyway, this is my very honest self reflections, and I do have a kind of script beside me to talk about it, but I kind of added a lot of my self thoughts when I'm recording this video. So if you have any comment, you just leave it down below. I'm happy to reply and kind of happy to sync up with people who thought about this book actually help, and also think that people actually give really harsh comments about this book, that it's in the review people said this book is not, it can be a YouTube videos, this is just a rehearsal for everything. But again, if you read this book seriously, where you actually just want to read the book and put a comment, a pro review that's saying you finished the book, then you will never actually get anything out of it. And yeah, so that's the end of my video. Again, if you have any comments, just leave it down below. I'm happy to reply, happy to share my opinions. And if you think of this video actually interests you, please subscribe, and I will see you next time. Peace.